All right, so we've arrived here at week 6 of the NFL season, and I'm celebrating this week by wearing my Ottawa Senators t-shirt. If you could tell, I'm just a little bit excited that hockey's back, but we still got football to watch here on Sunday and all the other days, so let's get into it. Let's start with last week's results, and it was a rocky one. Using the word rocky might not be the best way to describe how we did last week, probably a bit more catastrophic. Yeah, take a look at this. Oh boy. 4 wins. 4 wins. I mean, some of these were very close games. That's all I can really say about this. They were very close, within a score or less. But that's just horrible on my part. That's horrible on my part. I gotta do better. Let's get into week 6, starting with Thursday night football. So we have a great NFC matchup kicking off week number 6 on Thursday night, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles in New York taking on the Giants. Yes, the Eagles lost their first game last week to the Denver Broncos, but that's off of good defense. This time around against the New York Giants, I don't think they'll have much trouble yet again. What I think they will have trouble with is if they're able to get their offense going itself against the New York Giants offense, which has looked a bit better over the last couple of weeks. Yes, the Giants had a bit of a rough week last week as well against the Saints, but nonetheless, it shouldn't be too much trouble for the Eagles, in my opinion. The Eagles have had trouble this year. I think everyone can agree on that, even though they're 4-1. They've had a bit of trouble to get going in these games, and they've had close games. I do believe this game will be close as well, but I do believe they'll pull out the victory and take Thursday night against the Giants. So kicking off our Sunday's worth of football is Tottenham Stadium, yet again hosting another football game this year, and it is the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. Now, these European games could be either bangers or absolute garbage. I mean, it all just depends on how teams are dealing with the hour change and whatnot leading into this game. So you could call this one a toss-up, but I don't think so. I think the Broncos will have this all the way. The Jets have not been good all year. I think there was a bit of false hope at the start of the season, and now it's kind of caught up to them, and it's really dragged out here a bit over the last couple of weeks. The Broncos, they beat the Eagles last week. I think they're coming off of a high, right? Last week, beating one of the best teams in the league. Defensively, they'll probably show up against the Jets. Simply enough, I will take the Broncos to win their Week 6 matchup. Now we will fly back across the pond to the United States of America, where we will see the 1 o'clock window open up, and it's the Seattle Seahawks flying across America to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Florida. Man, Jacksonville, what a great win on Monday Night Football against the Chiefs. I mean, as a Chargers fan, I was pretty happy, but what a crazy last-minute touchdown by Trevor Lawrence. I mean, absolutely insane. They're coming off of a high. I think if they're able to turn their shorter week into something, I think it will be a positive movement, and especially how they've played to start the year. Heck, they're 4-1. Who would have thought that for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Seattle, I feel like their defense needs to be big in this game. Jacksonville didn't look perfect in that Monday night game, but they're also going up against one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. What I'll say about this game is if Jacksonville can get off to a great start, get some touchdowns on the board maybe, they're going to win this game no matter what. And especially facing a weaker defense compared to the Chiefs, I see that happening. I think Jacksonville will actually start this year 5-1 with a win over the Seahawks. Then we head south down the highway to Miami, where the Dolphins are taking on the Chargers. This one's an interesting one in my opinion, because the Chargers, dealing with all the injuries they have so far this year, they just lost Amari and Hampton for the next couple of weeks. What's their running game going to be like? That's the interesting part of this game. The Dolphins, they lost last week to the Panthers. It was a rough one. And I think a lot of Dolphins fans would agree. It was pretty rough watching that happen. If the Chargers are able to play like they have been over the last few weeks, maybe not last week because offensively they weren't the best, they will win this game, in my opinion. I don't think Miami's defense is as strong as it's been in the past. The Chargers offense, kind of like Jacksonville, like I just said, if they just get going early, they will have a great chance at winning this game, and that's what I believe will happen, and that's what I believe that you will see happen, and the Chargers will win this game. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This game would be fantastic if teams weren't injured. And especially one of them is, and we all know it's the Baltimore Ravens. A team that has just struggled from the onset of this season. Now they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, and now it looks like this season's a goner. Plain and simple. Lamar Jackson, it once again kind of seems doubtful, like he will not play this week, so that's already a goner for the Ravens, and I think this game is a goner for the Ravens as well. Do I have to really say anything about the Rams when they're taking on a team that's that beat up, that injured? I don't think so. I think it's pretty plain and simple to see that the Rams will win this game. Now we're going to head to Lucas Oil Stadium where the Colts are taking on the Cardinals. The Cardinals lost last week to the Titans. I said their offense isn't good last week, and it showed. You lost to the Titans. I mean, yes, you could kind of say it's maybe a bit more defense, but the Titans defense also sucks. So, yeah, and playing a team like the Colts who have flung out of the gates here like mad. Offense has been great. Jonathan Taylor has been great. Daniel Jones has been fantastic passing the ball around. That to me is just a recipe for success and a win here over the Cardinals. I don't really see any way else about it. The Cardinals, unless they have an offensive masterclass, they won't win this game. So with that in mind, I'm taking the Colts. Now we have the Carolina where the Panthers are taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Both these teams coming off big wins last week. In my mind, I think this match is a bit more one-sided. We could be in for a surprise. I honestly, deep down in my gut, I kind of see this being close. I don't know why, although I probably will be proven wrong on Sunday. I feel like this game is going to be close in some way. But just based on how the Cowboys did last week against an ailing defense like the Jets, I feel like it'll be a bit more of the same here against the Panthers. Although I kind of think it might be close, I'm still going to take the Cowboys on this one. I just think, obviously, they have a lot more talent than the Panthers. So with that in mind, that's how I think the Cowboys will win this week. We have another matchup. Once again, where both these teams won their games last week. It's the New England Patriots taking on the New Orleans Saints, the Pats. What a great win on Sunday night against the Bills. I mean, it came down to the wire, but they got it done. And you know what? That kind of showed to me that they're no pushover anymore. You know, the last couple of years, they were kind of pushovers. They're not now. Drake May has showed that he is a capable quarterback in this league. Now, is he a superstar quarterback? No. Do I believe he will get there? Possibly. I think so. But he's a capable quarterback, and he showed it. Against this Saints team, I think he will show it again. Yes, they're on the road, but I don't think that'll be a big case. The Saints, yes, they won last week, but I once again just don't see them maybe having a back-to-back wins in this season at all. I will believe, though, that the Pats can do that, and I believe they will do that. So I'm taking the New England Patriots to win this week in New Orleans. And our final 1 o'clock game this week on Sunday is the Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh taking on the Steelers. Dillon Gabriel is now the full-time quarterback of the Cleveland Browns after they traded away Joe Flacco. We'll get to that in a bit. But what I will say is, for the last couple of weeks, I said I want their defense to show up and it will win them the game. And it has not. I don't think that will happen again this week. Obviously, the Steelers have had a bit of issues on offense. Yes, DK Metcalf had that big, long touchdown in Dublin a few weeks ago. It's still an offense that has a bit of trouble here and there. I think they might have a bit more trouble here and there, especially playing a defense like the Browns, but I still don't trust that defense. To me personally, especially with an offense that's learning off of this rookie quarterback, I just see the Steelers winning this game just based on the fact that Cleveland and their offense is a bit of a flat line right now. Yes, their defense is a positive, but this game will be a negative for the Browns. I'm taking the Steelers to win this game. Now we're off to the 4 o'clock window where we only have 3 4 o'clock window games. And you can probably guess why. Well, for one, it's because there's a couple of teams on bye, and number 2, we have 2 Monday night games yet again. But anyways, let's go to the Tennessee Titans taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, man, if you want to not have fun on Sunday, watch this game. I mean, unless you're a fan of the teams, of course. But it's just, this is a game that's just an absolute write-off for everyone else in the league. I mean, these are 2 horrible teams, but someone has to win unless there's a tie. I just want to get this over with, really. And overall, the Titans offense, which has been horrible. I mean, the Raiders offense also been horrible with Geno Smith at the helm. Defensively, the Raiders technically have the better defense here, in my opinion. And that's what I think will help them this week. And that's what I think will lead them to victory. The offense in this game will be absolutely hilarious, but defensively, it might actually be a show-off. So anyways, I'm going to take the Raiders and just end my misery talking about this game. Next, we got the San Francisco 49ers and Tampa Bay taking on the Buccaneers. This one was a bit closer than I thought. I mean, we might see Brock Purdy back this week at quarterback for the 49ers. That will help them out a lot. But once again, they just have a lot of injuries to deal with, and the Buccaneers offense has looked pretty good with Ike and Buka, especially being kind of their wide receiver number one right now. But it's great that Chris Godwin's back there and he's able to play and kind of give them that 1-2 punch that they used to have, especially with Mike Evans being out. This game will be very close. I think this game is very close, but if I just had to pick a team, I'm going to go with the home side here, and I believe the Buccaneers will win this game. And for our final 4 o'clock game this week, it is the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Green Bay Packers. It will be our first look at Joe Flacco at quarterback for the Bengals. They announced he will actually start this week against the Packers. So hey, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they finally have a quarterback that can get him the ball at a decent rate, a bit better than what Jake Browning was doing. Joe Flacco is no superstar quarterback. We all know that. But he's a much more stable quarterback than what they had. And I think that will help them out maybe a little bit. They're taking on a Packers team that has looked solid all year. Defensively have looked solid all year. The offense has looked fantastic, especially going up against the Cincinnati defense that has not looked fantastic at all. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this one. Plain and simple, I'm going to take the Packers to win this game over the Bengals. Sorry, Bengals. Joe Flacco, you got him, but he won't be much help this week. And we head to a Sunday night football banger this week. We got the Detroit Lions in Kansas City taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are seeing red after their Week 5 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like a lot of them are upset by how that game ended. They're taking on a Detroit Lions team who, ever since Week 1, have steamrolled everyone. Plain and simple. Yes, they've played a couple bad defenses here and there, but they have steamrolled everyone. And it's not like they get to a point and they stop playing. They get to a point and they keep playing until they really can't really play anymore. But this will be a different setting. At Arrowhead Stadium, of course, a much tougher defense than what they have played. This game, in my opinion, will be close. I think this game will kind of go down to the wire. Going on about which team will win this game, I honestly think the Lions will win just due to their outpacing of everyone else that they have done over the last couple of weeks. I think they will kind of do the same to the Chiefs later on in that game. So yeah, I'm going to take the Lions to win on the road on Sunday Night Football. And then to wrap this week up, we have 2 great Monday night games, and we're starting with the Buffalo Bills taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And hey, look, you see that little graphic I made? Yeah, they're going retro this week. The Buffalo Bills wearing their retro helmets, the Atlanta Falcons also wearing their little retro look. I like this. I kind of like what they're doing this week. The Bills, they got to play their game. I said this last week. They're playing down to their opponents, and that's what happened last week. We saw how that turned out. They got to stop doing that. Yes, they were undefeated up until last week, but that's what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. I called it out, and look what happened last week. It's not a great look. Not a great look at all. They got to change that. And I think the Falcons, once again, you could kind of dumb it down to their level. So they have to watch out for that. I still think they will win this game, but they have to play their football. They have to play at their level of football. I think this will be a great game for them to kind of get away from that. So I'm taking the Bills to win their game, but they have to stop playing dumbed down to the other team. And for our final game of the week, we have the Washington Commanders hosting the Chicago Bears. I mean, what an incredible matchup this is. I like the quarterback matchup. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels meeting in the middle. I mean, Williams has been fantastic this year. Jaden Daniels finally fully healthy after being injured. It's going to be interesting to see how the two play. I mean, offensively, both these teams are very good. Very good offensively. So I kind of see this being a high-scoring game, especially with their defenses kind of being hit and miss as well. Judging that Jaden Daniels may be a bit more experienced than Caleb Williams, I'm taking the Commanders to win this game. They got home field advantage. I think it's going to work out for them. They will win Monday Night Football. So there you go, boys and girls. Those are my selections for week 6 of the NFL season. If you liked my selections, if you didn't, please leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, if you have not yet, please leave a like on the video if you have not yet, and as well subscribe to the channel for more weekly NFL selections, and also click that notification bell so you know when I upload these videos. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the football, and heck, for my Canadian fellas, enjoy Thanksgiving. Peace.